Well, actually,
Milk was just
Redoing us. Redoing.
Yo, this is
okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Brian Keith, aka Arrow MC, and welcome to the Nerd or Nothing podcast, where we talk about anime, video games, and everything that falls under the nerd realm. Just like, follow, and subscribe, and make sure you smash that notification button. Enjoy.
There be a point during a show when they should end the series, or should they continue it? So with Dragon Ball Z, you made the point where that was an anime that you really enjoyed as a child. And when they came out with Dragon Ball Super, you were definitely going to watch it, but it lost its nuance to being a great anime back then.
Yeah, you know what it is so when we were having this conversation, we were talking about Dragon Ball Z, and originally when it came out, and how when Super came out, because you're such a fan, you're excited to watch Super. It's like, oh, Super Saiyan God, and what's the storyline's going to be? But at the same time, when you're watching things older and later on, sometimes they get watered down a little bit. I thought that as an adult, I'm looking at Goku and I'm like, yo, Goku's a trash dad. I'm looking at things that I didn't necessarily, think about when I was watching it the first go round, and all of these things kind of stand out to you. So I personally felt like, as great as Super is, they really could have left Dragon Ball Z alone and just let it stand in its glory. But by bringing it back, and you're getting new moves and new abilities, and they're immersing themselves in the new content. Sometimes I feel like it hurts the legacy of the anime or show or movie rather than help it.
No, I'm gonna have to disagree. Make your money. Like the job is to make money. Like, it's weird because I thought that you would be on the money making side of this whole thing.
No, I'm not money hungry. Sometimes.
They're like, don't get me wrong. Like, when you think about it, because after Z came GT. GT was horrible. But at the same time, make your money. That's their job. So keep doing it until people stop watching it.
Yeah, but then this is the other thing, though. As a content creator, the way that I'm thinking is like, I'm on board with what Jers is saying, because you could easily just plummet yourself as a creator, where you put your name on something, right? Dragon Ball Z, right? Everybody loved Dragon Ball Z, right? I remember when I was a little kid, I was sitting there eating my bowl of cereal, and I couldn't even get the spoon in my mouth when Gohan went Super Saiyan 2. I was just stuck, like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was just so right. Everybody was into that. They're just stuck, man. Milk was just falling. I just didn't know what to do. It was so awesome, right? But then, like you said, GT came along, and it was like, oh, it was very underwhelming. But then if you keep going, making your money, right? Well, then you start losing fans, and then you start dropping other content, and then they're going to be like, I'm not even with that because that other series was trash. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can make your money, but then in the long run, you're going to lose out.
What about the anime that kept on going? The anime that didn't keep on going, they stopped. And then you're just like, why? Like, when you were so great, for instance, Bleach. Like, what?
Good one.
So,
right.
If you keep going, then you keep us entertained. It's for us.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I feel you. I mean, that makes sense.
I
but
agree.
in the same respect, like you said, Dragon Ball Z. Oh, that ruined for me. That ruined the whole thing, because now you've taken Gohan and brought him back down to a kid, and then turned him into a monkey again, and done all this stupid shit with him. It was about the fighting and the storyline. Yeah, GT. My bad. And GT, and so it just, to me, it ruined that storyline. Now they brought it back later on when they got into like the hero versions of it, and brought them all together and had all these multi-universes. But come on, I mean, at some point you gotta let it go.
It depends to certain things, like with with getting new, like continuing it on, you also gain access to like newcomers and stuff. You gain access to people who has like never watched it before, and they see it and they're just like, "Oh, cool! This is something that I would like to watch." And then they can go back and watch it from the beginning, and then they realize that it's so much better than what they started with.
Yeah, but when you start off with trash, I mean, when you're coming into GT and it's starting off with trash, you're like, what the heck is this?
But at the
this
same
is
time, you don't know it's trash at that point.
That's a good point. That's very relevant. That's very relevant. It's true because you have no idea. You're just coming in brand new, which leads me to another point. I just wanted to, and I would love to have Engine run into this, aka Hemi, what he thinks about this. But this new Naruto stuff that's coming out, where they're going to be following Sasuke and
Sakura.
I think that they're going to be following, I guess, Sakura as well.
his homegirl,
They're doing like a
Sakura.
side, but the thing is, right? So I guess like you were saying, Flashmaster, is that you got somebody who's never watched Naruto before, right? And they're gonna come in and they're gonna watch Sasuke, this new show that's gonna be coming out. Like, yo, what's the deal? And then they go back and then they watch Naruto. That is just phenomenal. You know what I mean? I'm thinking if I never saw Naruto,
New show, not Boruto.
well, wait, hold on, man. I don't want to be talking about Boruto because I don't really care much for Boruto right now. I'm just being me. But some people love Boruto. Actually, Andy, what you got on?
To me, I had to suffer through it. I went through 183 episodes before it hit. And when it hit hard. But that 183 episodes, I'm powering through because there's just it felt like so much filler story going on. There was a couple little episodes here and there that kind of got good, but it wasn't until like 183 when things just started really hitting.
Yo, son, I got in 15 episodes hard because I just came off of Shippuden and I was like, yo, I mean, look, I got my Ichiraku Ramen shirt on. I mean, like, I love Naruto. I came into Boruto hard and I was like, yeah, son, throwing up jutsus, sitting in. I was like, yes. And then halfway through 15 episodes, I was bobbing for apples. Like, it was just, I couldn't do it. And I love Naruto. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I agree with what kind of like what Larry's saying in content like that. You can destroy your fan base. They will go another direction.
But
I think that's the thing is, you get excited for it and you want more of it. When anything ends, especially if it's great, you want more.
Yes.
But sometimes if the writing isn't there, if the money's not, I mean, there's a human element, that there's to consider. But if all of those factors aren't the same, if the passion isn't there, just don't touch it. I'll give you guys an example. I remember 2007 in July, I went to see Transformers. And I was skeptical about seeing Transformers. And I saw it in theaters, and I remember leaving the theater saying they better not make a second one because they will ruin it. But I was wrong, and I was happy they was wrong. So because of that, when I see a continuation of a great series, now my standard is it's going to be better, and then I'm let down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hit or miss. But the thing with Super specifically, I think Super is great. I enjoy Super for what it is. But I was blinded as a kid as to what Dragon Ball Z was all about. Dragon Ball Z for the longest time for me was the top of the pedestal. It didn't even belong in conversations because it was the best. It was the standard. So when you talk top three, it's like top three, but don't include Dragon Ball Z because that's everybody's top. And to watch Super kind of see that, hey, the storytelling is lackluster. The Goku is just trash as a father. You know what I mean? And for it pretty much to be the same thing. And Frieza's the strongest in the universe. Well, Cell's the strongest in the universe. Now Majin Buu. It's like, well, who the hell is the strongest in the universe? It's so much repetition.
But Mr. Jers, we're talking about the longevity and should you stop? When should you stop? You said Transformers. First off, Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf or Shia LaBeouf, however you want to pronounce it. I thought Transformers, the first one, was awesome. Just like some people think that Boruto is awesome, and so there's an argument on everything. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the make your money, and that's gonna be my defense. Make your money because you never
Let me tell
know.
you-
You're not wrong. You're not wrong for that, Vernon. I mean, I get it. Yeah.
I'm all about the make your money aspect. I'm for it. Listen, make your money. But my thing is, don't have whack ass content. Don't have whack content. GT, we know that was a write off. That was not good. We watched it because we were fans, so we finished it. Right? Now where we are. Fast forward, we have all this super stuff, and Super was epic for what it was.
Some
It was
people might
epic.
like
Like,
GT.
Right.
Some
So
people might like GT.
some people might like I mean, listen, for what it was cool, but it was like all we noticed that a lot of people were kind of killed off in the whole situation, but still, GT was not canon. But now, from I believe Nas could actually shed more light on this.
Here
From
we
the
go.
direction that they're going from the last movie that they did, Superhero, I think the GT story might start to be canon based off of what they're putting into it. All I'm saying is, if the canon is dope, we'll look at Monkey D. Luffy in One Piece. One Piece has 1,000+ episodes, and I'm still not caught up.
Mhm.
I like the show, but it's like an investment.
Yeah, but when you go too hard in the paint, there's no coming back. Like as much, someone could be like, "Yo, episode 1018 was the greatest episode in anime history." I'm gonna be like, "Yo, if I start at episode 1018, I don't even know what's even going on. I'm just watching action." But I would have to go back and start from one.
You need to
Make
be like
money.
Jers, where Mr. Jers started off from episode 1 and he pounded through it. So
Yes, he
either
did.
you want to watch anime or you don't. Don't have.
Let me throw something at you about the make your money angle. Punisher, not the series, the very first movie with Thomas Jane in 2004.
With Dolph-
And when they tried to start that series and create that specific universe, they decided, let's go make some more money. Let's make Punisher Warzone. Did anybody see Punisher Warzone?
Yeah, I saw Punisher Warzone.
Was
There's
Punisher
an issue, but there's
Warzone?
an issue with that. But anyways, go ahead, make your point.
No, I made my point.
Okay.
Anybody see
The
the,
thing
the
is-
new? But did anybody see the Punisher? The new Punisher though? The
The
latest.
series?
Yes.
Marvel?
Series, yeah.
So why stop? Why stop?
They
Money.
got the formula right. That's the thing.
Somebody
they got
got
the
greedy.
formula right. Because they got the formula right is the reason why we are hooked to it, right? All the other Punishers gave us an idea of something of what it could be, just like Blade.
The argument right now is so long as I like it, then you should keep going. But when I don't like it anymore, then you stop.
If you've struck gold and if you've actually, gone through the formula and gotten it right, you can keep on going with it. Look at Marvel right now. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, amazing. Might be a couple flop movies in there, but amazing. As we've mentioned before in some of our previous conversations, like throughout Phase 4, it hasn't really lived up to the hype that Marvel gave us with Infinity War, with all the Captain Marvel movies, all the Thor movies except for Dark World. It hasn't given us that same feeling. So is there a point where some of these shows, movies, anime should stop? When they realize, like, all right, we're not putting out the same quality as we could have before. We're gonna start losing numbers either way. Like, sure, yeah, you're trying to get your money and everything like that, but at what point are you losing money doing that?
I mean,
People have different opinions.
Right. And I mean,
me throw this in
every single thing is different cup of tea. Which actually, I would like to make this reference to my boy Jers, season 3, Tokyo Ghoul. All right, and we talked about this, right?
We did.
So,
We did.
season 3, I thought when I first watched it, because after watching, if anybody's watched Tokyo Ghoul, after season 2, I was like, oh,
Give
yo,
me
this
some
is
more.
good. And I started season 3, man. I was like, and I turned it on, man, and it was just like I was lost. Well, I told Jers, I said, yo, I'm I'm not feeling this. But
Yeah.
to him,
Yeah.
he'll say different. So I mean, that's to Verner's point. Everybody feels different about certain things. So
Absolutely.
y'all
I think also, looking at so in terms of Tokyo Ghoul was great first two seasons. I thought so too, Matt. But as soon as they hit that third season, you can tell the changes that happened. That I was like, Hisaikai, well, whatever his name was, I can't even remember his name at this point.
I say,
Heisei.
put some respect on Heisei's name.
Yeah, he wasn't Ken Kaneki, okay? He wasn't breaking every bone in his body just to be able to, take out whoever he wanted to take out. But the other issue that I had with that season was the fact that when we got to the third season, halfway through the season, they changed production studios, and you can tell there was a difference. Then they changed production studios again, and they started going in a completely different direction. And for anybody that might actually read the manga, it completely veered off in season 3 to the point that it's like, yo, what's going on now? And then even for people that never read the manga and just watch the anime, it's like, yo, where are y'all going with this season?
Right. So to Brian's point where he said the formula, talking about they lost the formula in doing such a great job from season 1 and 2. And then to Vernon, what he's saying about making money, well then, I mean, they switching production companies trying to save money or whatever reason that they did, they completely, they lost a lot of fan base. I mean, but at the other end, you got, Jers was like, yo, I liked it. So, I mean, you might, catch a fish or two, but then you lose some.
Not
But remember again, like the majority of the animes that were created, the majority of them were shonen. They were created for teenagers, kids, young boys, particularly boy. So because of that, there's a specific formula where it's like, okay, we're going to give you a couple of these shows for you to watch, or books to read, and you can be engaged or inspired by it. And we know all of those animes. Naruto is one of them. Dragon Ball, Black Clover.
You're gonna get
Fairy Tail.
hate for how you said Naruto.
I know. I'm still learning.
Naruto.
Vernon, please correct me. Naruto, right?
Naruto.
Naruto.
You gotta, the way Sasuke be saying
Naruto.
It's not Naruto. It's not Naruto.
Nandemo.
Naruto.
Can we take a second and give props to Nas's well actually moment that he had?
Well, actually.
Well, actually, bravo, Nas. Bravo.
Bravo,
Yeah.
Nas.
Well, actually,
That's right.
if we really want to talk about this, we could talk about a show that went on for 14 seasons, and they should have stopped the show twice throughout the entire series, and that would be Supernatural. Supernatural was supposed to end after.
Natural.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So Supernatural was supposed to end after season 4 once, and spoilers for anybody that hasn't watched Supernatural, but it's been like 10 years, so get over it.
Yeah.
But so at the end of season 4, they were supposed to end because at that point they had taken down the demon that had killed their mother. But then they were like, you know what? We got so many fans. We got all this money we're about to make. So they kept going. Season 5 wasn't so great. Season 6 wasn't so great. Season 7 wasn't so great. Season 8 comes around. They do the Leviathans. The Leviathans might not have been the coolest, but the whole story of Dean going to purgatory was awesome. So from season 8 all the way to season 11 was great. You got every single pantheon getting involved, every single god, every demon, every angel, all of them involved. You get to the end of season 11 and you have God, the angels, the witches, the demons, Lucifer himself, all fighting against God's sister, the darkness. Finally finishes that, and it's like, well, what else can you do? Hey, let's go talk about the men of letters in another country who haven't helped us out for the last 11 seasons, and talk about how they want to regulate what we're doing for the next 3 seasons before we end the show. That's a show that probably should have ended after season 4 or after season 8, but they continued.
If your life is on the line, and you can have any people to save you, who would you pick?
Sam and Dean.
Sam and Dean.
Yeah, the guys with Supernatural. Yeah, no question.
Superman.
And a good example of like how
Superman.
this
Wait, no,
TV
wait, Jers. Sorry, Justin.
Yo, that's gonna be
Jerry,
another
hold
topic,
on.
yo.
Superman can't
Yeah,
resurrect
yeah,
your
yeah.
ass. He ain't saving you. He
Yeah,
ain't
and yeah,
saving
Not
you.
gonna let me die in the first place.
That's right.
Nah,
No.
Bean. Nah,
And-
Bean. You gonna die. You
and-
gonna die.
It's a good example of how a show is ending is like The Flash, how they are doing their final season this next coming up season. And it's just like, for me being a giant Flash fan throughout like the whole run of the series, it's that what are you doing, Nas? What are you doing? What are
Here
you
we
doing?
go.
I see it.
Well,
Look
actually,
towards the camera. Look
well,
towards the camera.
actually, they weren't supposed to end the show. It was supposed to go on for 2 more seasons without Grant Gustin.
Mhm.
They decided to, yeah, they were supposed to go on 2 more seasons without Grant Gustin, but they realized that that was going to be a stupid idea, and I guess
Yeah.
why ruin the Arrowverse after you've ruined the DCEU?
Mhm.
True.
Mm.
Yep. What I was saying though was with the Arrowverse, in my opinion, after I can't think of his name for the life of me, but
Yeah.
after Oliver left, like
Stephen
a
Amell.
lot of thank you, Stephen Amell. After he
Great
left,
actor.
a lot of it went downhill. A lot of it did.
Mm.
Some of the crossovers weren't
When
as good
Felicity
as what they
Smoke left.
were, and it just went downhill from there. But and it's like they're recognizing that it's a good time to end it and everything. So, in my opinion,
The Arrowverse was doing great between, the Flash, Arrow, everything else that was going on
Legends
that
of
wasn't
Tomorrow.
the Legends of Tomorrow, everything that wasn't Supergirl or Batwoman.
Yep.
Respectfully. Yeah, I
Respectfully.
wanted to be a fan of those, but I couldn't. I mean,
Mhm.
loose
so-
I
fan,
watched-
loose fan.
I like forced myself to like watch like the 2 seasons of Supergirl, but that was only because of the crossovers.
I'll say this. I'll say this is my
Crossover, yeah.
piece. I was an avid DC Arrowverse fan. I pretty much watched everything. And what halted me was not content. It was the pandemic, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm.
Like, I had a routine, but just the pandemic really threw a lot of things off with, obviously with them not being able to produce shows. If you guys remember in Flash in season 7, Justin, you'll
How
probably remember.
quick they finished it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they pretty much cut the season, and it was like Iris is stuck in a mirror, and that's where I left off. And they were like, "Oh, the season is back." At that point, my interest was already, it was already waning. But Arrow had just ended, which was a very dramatic ending, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. Like I liked it.
Yeah, it was beautifully done. I kind of had the Endgame approach, if I'm going to be honest. Once Endgame happened for Marvel, mentally I was pretty much done. I still have maybe 25% interest. Arrowverse. Once Oliver, spoilers if you guys haven't finished for anyone watching. Once the Arrowverse ended and Oliver was gone, that was it for me, honestly.
I feel you.
Interesting point to bringing up Stephen Amell and everything. For season 9, Stephen Amell came out on social media saying that he is coming back to star in season 9 of Flash, some way, somehow.
Interesting.
Stephen Mel.
I'm not a fan of that.
word?
Yeah.
Mm.
They the Flash producers asked him to come back just for this final season. He never said how he's coming back.
And I'm
If it's gonna be like a
curious.
flashback or what.
I'm
That's what I would
curious.
prefer if it was a flashback.
He's pulling a Hugh Jackman.
hmm
He's
But,
a good actor, though. I mean, I appreciate him as an actor. Like,
Emil,
Come on.
I mean, really though, like, is he a good actor or was
for
his?
what he played as far as Arrow, I appreciate him. Actually, and no, wait.
As well.
He had another movie that he did where everybody had like quirks or powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
he had a
one-off
Netflix
movie.
movie.
It's a
Oh, wait.
Netflix movie that he did.
Don't tell me.
wasn't
I want to
bad.
watch it.
It was
Don't
a-
spoil.
Yeah,
No,
no
no spoilers at
spoilers,
all.
but it was a good movie.
It
was
was
a
a really
good
good movie.
movie.
I liked it.
I literally almost hit play on Friday night.
Put a pin in this. All of the
Flash.
actors in all of the series that we watch, be it DC or Marvel, few of them would make it in movies.
Yeah,
Very
very
few.
true. Because
Mhm.
to that point, Grant Gustin actually just did a movie last year that was about him and some rescue dog or some police dog that he tried to train,
I've heard
Yes.
about that.
and it
Yes,
looked
yes.
very Hallmarky. Not a Hallmark fan.
Wasn't that the one with the what's this called? The strip dude.
No, he pretty much he
No.
did the same exact movie, just a Hallmark version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Grant Gustin did a Hallmark version, whereas Channing Tatum did his own version, which was in theaters.
I'm gonna tell you who will make it in the
Grant-
movie. Tom Cavanaugh.
Tom Cavanaugh.
Tom
Harrison
Cavanaugh.
Wells. Harrison Wells.
Absolutely,
Okay, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's done a couple movies.
Those
Yeah.
those acting skills are amazing.
Great actor.
hmm
Were they good movies?
Whenever you can
Grant
act
Gus-
as like 9 different people,
I mean,
like that's
in regards to the movies, Vern, since you asked, were the movies great? They were okay, but his acting was great.
The acting was good. Okay, that's what I.
This is what's funny for me is you bringing up Michael B. Jordan. There's a big stink going on right now with him and Sylvester Stallone. Oh my gosh. Has anybody seen any of this?
It's over the Creed thing, the Creed 3.
Yes,
been keeping
it's
it up.
over Creed 3. So Sylvester Stallone was just, he is beside himself, pissed off. He's like, no, I don't, this was my thing. This was what I created. And you guys are taking it in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
And
When
it's
old
just,
people get jealous.
but this is another one of those things. Like, when should it have ended? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think with Creed, they got a new,
I mean, this is that's very relevant. But the thing is hey, again, are you hitting the points of what Vernon said, making your money, and do you have the formula to make a good movie? Creed 1 and 2, yes and yes. So why not make a third one?
Why not make
You
a
know what I
third
mean?
one?
If you're following now, if they first, we haven't seen Creed 3, right?
Anything
If we
anymore.
haven't, I mean, but if it's not following the formula, you know,
Right.
of the last two, and if Sylvester Stallone signed off on the other two, well then
And he
there's
did.
something that's not right. Well, we'll see though. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm not signing off on this one. And he's,
And you
I don't
know
know
what?
what happened
Well,
with it, with the filming, but he was not happy.
They
Who's
probably
directing
cut
it?
him a check. That's probably what happened.
Huh?
They probably didn't
Well,
cut him.
he's not even in this one.
So
Uh-oh.
He's not even in the
I
third
don't think
one.
he's in the second one either. I don't think he was. He wasn't in much of it.
Yeah,
what's the
We have a
check?
real
he wasn't in
actually
much of
moment.
it.
well, actually, he technically wasn't invited to be in the third movie because of the direction that they wanted to take of how they wanted to continue to tell Adonis' story. They didn't see where Rocky could fit in that.
Oh,
So basically, what you're saying is sour grapes.
Sour
Sour grapes.
Sour grapes. Listen,
Well,
well,
actually-
listen, I don't have a well actually as to
Sour
why he
grapes.
shouldn't be in the movie, but at the same time, if he's providing any type of tutelage to Creed, then okay, he should be in the movie. But if they wrote him out altogether, that's kind of dick. But who know? I don't know what their plans are for that studio.
Right. I mean, and we'll see. In the end,
We'll see.
we'll see what happens. But I mean, yo, Andy, great point. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Nerd or Nothing podcast. Let us know what you think about today's topics in the comments below. If you got friends who love nerd debates, what are you waiting for? Hit that share button and make sure that they give us a follow too. Tune in next time and make sure to keep it nerd or nothing.